Sup players, we're back from Danish Nats. It's Christmas here, Paradigm here, and we are here with two regulars on the channel, Big Boss, Alan.
Hello.
And what did you do?
Yeah, I got top 16.
And I got third place.
And you play the same list?
Basically, yeah. There's one card difference in the main deck. But yeah, huge shout out to Christopher Nielsen, who got top 8. I basically made most of the deck with him throughout like the entire month and everything. So most of the Fury went through him with the Fury. It was actually mostly him that made some of the Fury, and then he swung it by me. And then we basically bounced off ideas from each other. So big shout out to him as well for helping me create the deck.
Awesome.
Well.
Yeah, and then I got coached a lot by Anton throughout the week. Got a lot of ideas, and then we almost played the same list. Just a one card difference, really.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Good to see the boys topping again.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right,
That's good.
and we have the nice trophy here as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the main deck.
All right, so we played pretty basic Mitsurugi engine.
We didn't really think Night Sword Serpent was needed.
Since Dragoluction is a card, so we played 3 Abakiri, 1 Murokumo, 1 Sachi, 1 Kusanagi, 1 Armasa, 1 Ritual, and 3 Prayers.
Night Sword Serpent does make your combo more powerful,
Yeah.
but you also add another brick to the deck. And my philosophy with this deck is I want to play 40, so I can see outs to things like Droll and Charmies more often. But then again, I don't want to see like more of like for example cards like Kusanagi or Note that they can work in combination with other cards, but most of the time they are kind of like bricks. So Night Sword Serpent is one of the cards where, of course, it makes your combo more powerful, but if you go uninterrupted, you should win anyways, so it feels just win more.
Yeah, and an extra deck consistency card is usually better, and it sort of serves the same purpose for like making a combo. Of course, you can make a little bit of a stronger combo, but most of the time you're gonna win if you make a full combo.
Got it.
So that's it for the Mitsurugi cards.
Yeah. And then the Ryzeal part is 2x, 2 sword, 2 ice, 1 node, 1 star, 1 cross, 2 tachyon, and a bonfire.
So for the star, at first I was trying it out. I was like, oh, it's nice to play. Like if they indicate dual drive, you can search this and then still get cross. But later on, I found out that it's not that good. It's like kind of one of those brick cards as well. So I removed it, but then soon after, like one locals after I tried without it, I was like, yeah, kind of need it.
Yeah, it just gives you better combos sometimes, because if you open ice plus another Ryzeal, you can play around Droll if that's the only hand trap they have, because then you can ice into star and get the cross and then make duo drive and then use your second Ryzeal and just keep the duo drive on board and wait for...
So you don't search at first.
Yeah, so you don't search immediately, which also was pretty good.
That was one of the ideas that me and Christopher Nielsen was talking about, and yeah, we were talking that at first when we cut Star Ryzeal, we were like, it's like to do that combo, you need to draw specifically ice and not one of the searcher spells, because otherwise you still play into draw. But there was a lot of times where you just have Ice Ryzeal and another starter, so being able to put up Star Ryzeal with dual drive and then cross was really good. It was, at least for me, really good all tournament.
I also had a few times throughout the tournament where I made duo drive and they would imperm it, and then I randomly just drew the Star Ryzeal, so it basically made their imperm unusable most of the time, which was pretty good. So that also serves a purpose when you draw it in combination with Soda. Of course, if you draw it as the only Ryzeal or starter, it's a break. If you draw it with others, it can be used as an extender.
But you also have so many starters. So.
Yeah, you do. And then the 2 tachyons is also maybe questionable. Someone plays 1, somebody plays 3. It's really a question of preference. I like it at 2 since it can be searched with the Dragoluction as well. And just for the fact that you do lose a card with it, which is also something. So usually when I get 7 Tachyon, I get it with Dreadloction, where you put a Habakiri back, so it doesn't really count for losing 1 card, because the Habakiri is usually dead, and you kind of want it in a deck because the Mitsurugi engine sometimes forces you not to search with the rituals, because you need names in the deck to be able to resolve into a special summon them back. So it serves a purpose. I didn't really feel like I have to play 3 or 1. I really liked it at 2.
I was, because I don't really like tagging into Droll, but this is basically the 40th card that I discussed with Christopher, where we were like, we want consistency. At first we had 1 Tagion and then like 1 Prosperity and 2 Droplet, but that was 42 cards, so we wanted to get it down to 40. And we were like, okay, 1 Droplet doesn't really make sense. And then Prosperity was a thing we considered as well, just to have more consistency, because Prosperity is, can be both consistency or non-engine. But at the last second, I took a turn with the deck list and decided not to play Prosperity. I know Christopher did. And then I decided to play another hand trap instead of Prosperity.
All right.
So yeah, that's it for the Ryzeal part.
So for non-engine,
Yeah.
It was 3 Fugalos. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Then,
Card's broken.
I played 2 Peruli and 1 Bell, and Anton actually decided to not play Bell and play the Peruli.
Yeah, so this is the only difference in our deck list, where I played like inside extra and everything. I played 3 Perulia and he played only 2, and decided to play Bell instead.
Yeah.
Did the Bell work out for you?
Not really. The theory behind it was to be able to be as bulletproof as possible if I drew the cross out. So if I would start with the prayers and a cross out and nothing else, for instance, and they would bell it, I would be able to cross out that.
It's also just not a bad hand trap.
It's not a bad hand trap at all, especially in the mirror. So my theory behind it was just to be as bulletproof as possible, because you can get you can meet so many random decks throughout the Danish nationals at least. So I feel like being able to be as consistent as possible in some stuff is important. But looking in hindsight, I probably would cut this for a 3rd Perulia. It didn't really come up, and like the times that you do draw a cross out and your opponent happens to have a bell and you only have prayers, it's like no chance at all. And the 3rd Perulia going second will probably serve you.
Yeah, I was really happy with the 3rd Perulia, because I have a bad habit of losing die rolls. I lost all my die rolls in Top Cut, I think. And then just having this in Swiss, to where when you play against like Mitsurugi, Ryzeal, or just any, like, there's also just some random rogue decks as well, which it is pretty good against. So yeah, for me, having 6 Mulchamis going second was really good, because when you go first, even if you draw like 2 of the Mulchamis, you can either make like a Dynamondo play where you have Dynamondo tributed and then you Mulchami them, but most of the time if you go like for the full combo, you're kind of fine with having like 2 dead cards in your hand.
Yeah, alright.
Usually, yeah. Then the other non-engine is 3 draw.
Yeah,
This
obvious.
is pretty obvious. Yeah. The Ash for
This feels-
Charmies,
This is basically only for Charmies. Like, this hand trap feels so bad, but you basically just have to play it for Charmies.
yeah.
Like, most of the time when I went second, I was considering taking it out. Like, ashing Asachi is pretty cool, but other than that, then it's not really that great. It can serve as a board break against Malice as well. But yeah, it's just really mediocre, but you have to play it for Charmies.
Yeah, exactly. We play 1 Nib.
For the cross out, right?
For the cross out, and we play a Gallon Granite in the
Yeah,
extra
of course,
deck,
of course.
So you can search it.
We don't play Daigusto Emerald, because when you do Daigusto Emerald, you have the possibility of, like, when you shuffle things back, you have the possibility of just drawing like 2 dead cards.
Yeah.
So we wanted like the
Granite
certainty
instead.
of having like a nice high impact hand trap.
Yeah, exactly. And going first, having this in hand with a full board just gives so much more to it. Because if your opponent tries to pull out through, they will probably have summoned enough for you for this to have a huge impact, and this will probably be the card if they out your board that will win you the game. And then 1 Imperm.
This is the card that I cut Prosperity for. I saw a lot of resurgence in Imperm in main decks, or just in general. So I wanted to have Imperm in my deck for cross out, and it actually came up like 2 or 3 times where I had to cross out Imperm. I know the statistics isn't like that high of it happening, but it was really good, and it's also we play Frost in the side deck, and this was actually like one of the Frost targets I chose 2 times as well. And if I didn't have this, I would have lost those matches, because it basically put them on checkmate.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's also a good card to draw as a 6 card. So
Yeah.
it's
one of the
not
card-
too bad to.
One of the
to
problems
have.
with this, or not a problem, but one of the inconsistencies with this deck list is that you don't really have that many cards you can draw into with the Charmies. You don't have Droplet or anything, so I just wanted another card that you could draw into with the Charmies as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we played the trio, Talents, Cross Out, Call By.
The 3 god cards.
Yeah.
Just if your opponent opens like draw or any multiple Charmies, you need unfair cards to being able to win. In game 1, round 1, I won the die roll, but I got Perulia Fuvolast, but because I had Talents to look in hand, at the end I could remove like a Bonfire for X. So I still won that game because of like Talents. So you need unfair cards to beat unfair hand traps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. That's the main deck.
How many
It's,
cards?
40 cards.
40 cards,
And then
you shouldn't play more.
no. I like the list. Only like the bell I should have put out for the Perulia.
Yeah, you
but
should have
I
basically
really
just
did
played my list.
that. Yeah, I should have. The Prosperity I wouldn't play just for the sword.
It's still
if you
fun.
if you start with it, you play very much into draw, and you don't even know what you're gonna get, and usually you only want to banish 3.
Yeah,
For
I think
Prosperity.
it could maybe cut like attack in for Prosperity, but then again, you
Yeah,
still...
I'd rather have the safe Ryzeal rather than
Yeah.
getting 3, excavating 3 cards, and then it's gonna be bad, and you're like, oh well, my luck sucks. Extra deck is just 1 detonator, 2 duo drive.
Yeah, pretty stable.
Staple, aggregator. This card that you have to reveal.
Only 1 Twin Eclipse. I never
one.
missed the second one.
No, me neither. Me neither. I figured. In the beginning I played 2, but I figured that you only needed 1,
Yeah.
and it was definitely the right choice. The card that bridges everything together.
Yeah.
This card also bridges things together.
Yeah.
These are really good.
Yeah.
This card that like makes you play through troll and other stuff really well. Also, for in your full combo, you can sometimes take this with the detonator and just have the cross negate with this. So they have to out this to begin with. It's really good.
There's also where you can like search Granite, have Detonator with the field spell. If you go like full combo, like if you, because we play Ouroboros as well, but if sometimes you're missing a body, so sometimes you can, or sometimes Ouroboros isn't even that good against some decks. In that case, you go for like Gallant Granite, but Guska plays with Detonator and Cross.
Yeah.
And then Exoton.
This was really good for me. Like, for some reason, some players, when they see 2 level 4s, they think like, oh, they're gonna go King of the Philips, and then you can just summon it on the field, and then I think I like blew up my opponent's board like 3 times or something, and it just instantly won me the game.
I had a game where I made this to try to wipe the board. It got impermed, and then I just had to pass literally with only this on board. But my opponent ended up going through an entire combo where he could have removed it like at least 2 or 3 times. But then he ended up just going to his battle phase, and this just won me the game because he didn't realize that I could have used it. So like it has some utilities that when some people don't read cards sometimes.
Yeah, because it's
they,
an old
they
card.
get much better. But yeah, that's the only time I really used it.
Yeah.
But it does have really good utility. And then like the Dugaris, you have to play this. I feel like
Yeah.
there's so much utility in so many ways.
I actually used the attack boost effect for most time.
I actually just I only used the attack boost as well. Never drew or summoned with it. Usually when you get to this, I want to get Gallant Granite instead if it's in the combo because of the deal with Emerald as well. If you haven't drawn it, which I didn't.
Yeah.
But it's a really good card. And Dynamondo.
So out Baguska.
Outs Baguska. Outs a lot of other cards as well. It's just really good.
And you
and
can
also gives you Murakumo for your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and you can also do the play where you tribute it, and then if you have open Mulchamis, you can just do that if you only enter this.
That's really good. And then like the rest of the cards, I feel like are more of flex spots. So we decided to play Ouroboros and Granite, which we have talked about already.
Gallant Granite is obvious, but Ouroboros is like, some people are starting to cut it or just saying that they never summoned it. I summoned it twice and it won me the game instantly. So for that reason, I'm pretty happy that I played it. In top 16, I hand looped my opponent for 3 cards.
Okay, yeah.
In my game 1.
Yeah, I never summoned it throughout the entire tournament.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it is sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is a good combo and it does have some good purpose, especially if you play against a deck that doesn't play many hand traps, like it's Danish nationals. So
Yeah, exactly.
you would be able to play against literally anything. So having decks like Branded or something where they don't really have non-engine,
Yeah.
this card gets much better. And then the last one is Castel. This card is very, very good to out your opponent's monsters on board and set them face down.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And that's the only reason we play it.
Yeah.
All right.
Good utility.
Very
design.
good utility.
Yeah.
Side deck is Fuck Malice.
Yeah.
Pretty stable.
I sided this in against pure Mitsurugi as well sometimes,
Yeah.
because it usually would give you 1 or 2 draws.
You can also sometimes you can hold it for your opponent's turn because
Yeah.
then they can't really futsu
Yeah,
because otherwise they give you like 4 draws or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
And if they want a Murakumo, they give you a draw as well.
Yeah,
So it's basically like a 6 card you can draw as well,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice.
but I didn't play any Malices, so I sided this in going against Mermail in top 16. I did draw it, but I drew shit as the other cards, so it didn't really do anything. But this is also good to not make them statue you consistently. At least they can get it if they excavate it, but the chance is so low. We played Feather Dust and Lightning Storms.
This is basically for most of the decks. Like the Malice deck doesn't really end that often on the negate anymore. They end on Bomber Dragon, and they set a lot of back row. So being able to like wipe the back row is pretty good. Also, just against like some of the Mitsurugi variants, this is pretty good as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy with this card. There's a lot of blue eyes in Danish meta, and this is pretty good against blue eyes as
I
well.
started using against the mirror a lot, but the theory behind it was more that you can meet all sorts of decks. So these cards are just consistently good against almost everything going second, because then you can just take out the back row and then you just have to deal with monsters, which is more doable because you have cards like Ext. Then we play 2 Talents and Purification. So Talents was to get out these only.
Or if the other talents.
Yeah.
Going. So this is basically like a kind of going first and second card. But most of the time I used it mostly to go first.
Yeah, me too.
To set this handsome guy.
Yeah, to set this disgusting card, Castel.
Yeah.
You just make a Castel when they draw you, or charm you. If then Talents can set, and you have 5 ways to get it. You could argue that you might be able to play 3 Talents and then just play 1 of this, or
then
2
you
of
lose
this.
more to Ash.
But then again, you lose more to Ash, and you don't really need other traps to set with this, because this is just
Also just
gonna
hard
win
drawing.
against everything.
Yeah. There's also I was thinking about or talking about with Christopher about playing the Solemns instead, so like 3 judgment, 2 warnings, but I kept losing to this card in specifically, where like if it was like a Solemn or something like that, then I would have won, and it was most of the time where people didn't really know what they were doing, but because I had hobby, I still lost. So I was like, if it's that powerful with people who generally doesn't play that well, but it still play kind of well, then I thought that okay, I could use this card very well as well. But it is like kind of brain dead card. It's just like summon Castel and then activate it.
Definitely.
So yeah. It also I used it twice, and both of the times they were like instantly like, or actually it won me my top 8 match in Top Cut, where I summoned Castel. He had trolled me. I made Castel and then set the trap, and then he had to make Baguska. It was actually against Christopher. But he made Baguska, but then we got like into a Baguska war where I drew, I passed. He drew, he had 1 card in hand then, and then he passed, and I drew 7 attack into X, and I won.
Alright.
But yeah, I think this was a good call for me at least.
Yeah,
like I didn't really miss a judgment or something like that.
Yeah. This won me my round 8 bubble match as well in game 3. I got trolled, but I just put this in the draw phase because I played against pure Mitsurugi. So if they were to play that kaiju thing, I just did it in the draw phase, and he just activated a Feather Duster and set a card and passed, and then I could just go on with my day. The round after and OTK him. So it did serve its purpose when we drew it. I did have another game where I did draw it, but it didn't do as much because the deck wasn't really the deck I played against was like the Odeon deck.
Okay, so you didn't really need
where he could set some traps to do something, and the spells also just give him resource all the time. So the monsters, I stopped the monsters, but he could still use some of his cards. So it went more grindy. But you know, I like this. I like this.
Yeah. So overall, I was pretty happy with the deck. I was really happy with the Fury crafting I did with Christopher, and then on the last day we were talking about like imperm and stuff like that. But yeah, the deck felt really insane. Like I was really happy we got to play 40 cards, and like all day if I got to play, I was mostly winning because the deck is so insane. Like most of the time where if I lost a game or something like that, it was either like a floodgate happening or I bricked, which rarely happens, but it does happen.
My one loss was also to bricks in round 2 in the second game. So I got 2-0, and in my top 16 match, I drew game 1. I drew bricks like node and ritual and 3 hand traps, so I had to pass. And then my opponent played Mermail, and I trolled him, but he had he could just see my hand banish 1 and OTK me. And then in the third game, I just drew all 3 level 4 Mitsurugis and a Lancia and a Feather Duster, which was like he just full combo me without the statue, which was what it is. So I feel like it does break sometimes, but you know that's part of it. So, can't really complain too much.
No.
All right. Is there any shout outs you want to give at the end?
I feel like I've said it before, but shout out to Christopher for helping me with the deck as well, and getting to top 8 as well. And then shout out to all the Faros guys, Storm, Stark, Toby, you Christian behind the camera, Smith, Maga, just and of course all the other guys from our local. And thank you to all the guys cheering me on, because I was the last Danish guy in the top 4, so a lot of people were rooting for me, because the last national I went to, I got first place, and people were saying go back to back. Yeah, I have to settle for third place, but
it's still pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I just agree with the shout outs.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to say.
All right, Team Paradigm signing out.